Welcome everybody, I am 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my 9-year-old's comics. With the rise of my son Nolan's comic book empire, it's been easy to forget his more humble roots as a writer. As heroes like Super Nolan, Black Widow, Scorpion, and Dirt Biker took center stage, another group of heroes who existed mostly in the form of written word fell to the wayside and was sadly reduced to a handful of cameos and barely salvageable spin-offs. If you're familiar with this channel, and if you read the title of this video, of course, you know that I'm referring to the League of Superheroes. We first reviewed their book back in April of last year, and outside of a handful of appearances in Worldwide War and Spectacular Black Widow, we really haven't heard much from them. And to my knowledge, plans for a follow-up novella titled Frankie, I'm Home have all but been scrapped. Although rumor has it there is a rough draft of the first 50 or so pages out there, but it's probably buried under a pile of dirty laundry in Nolan's bedroom. However, despite the rocky start to the continued adventures of this ragtag team of superpowered misfits, Nolan has finally produced the very first piece of exclusive League of Superhero media since the original book in a brand new comic book series titled The League of Superheroes, issue number 1. Let's do it. Beginning with the overall presentation, we are treated to the standard worldwide triple staple floppy. The cover is a beautiful hand-drawn illustration using a combination of pencil and marker. It features 3 of the 5 established members, Quick, Miguel, and Carnage, standing against a wall with the spotlight shining on them. Nolan has also upped his legal game by the inclusion of a trademark. And just in case there's any cause for concern over his art being stolen, he's included his signature for added copyright protection. We have clearly entered a more professional age in worldwide comics. The interiors are illustrated with the standard number 2 pencil, allowing the line art to really pop. The use of black and white also allows for more mature levels of violence, as one doesn't need to worry about heavy uses of the color red catching the attention of any nosy teachers wandering around while you're trying to read this with your friends between classes. But enough about all that. Let's have a read. One night, when the rain was pouring, and lightning hits the ground, and thunder was clapping, and wind was moaning. Dramatic. There was a super strong man named Miguel, running. I could have sworn I saw a man chasing me. He thinks to himself, a dark alley, he'll lose me. A man, it must be him. Crack! A powerful fist slams into the face of Miguel with so much force it practically warps his face into a painful croissant. Nah, just his crew! A giant, misshapen man with a massive gut towers over our protagonist. Miguel screams, "Ah! I can't see through this eye!" Oh, that is nasty. He glares at his attacker with his remaining good eye. Look at that sweet reflection. Very nicely done. The giant assailant takes another swing at the injured Miguel, striking him with a massive uppercut, sending him flying upward. But Miguel quickly recovers and stands before this monstrosity of a man. The man begins laughing, clearly the dominant force in this situation. However, Miguel thinks fast and performs an incredibly uncomfortable looking split, bringing him face to belly with the large man. Without hesitation, he slams his fist into the foe's massive gut, a strike so powerful the belly begins to cave in on itself from the impact. Just then, a police car pulls up. The officer in the car arrests the humbled villain, who declares, "I'll get you someday!" Miguel taunts him back. "Forgive me if I don't hold my breath." Another sick burn from Worldwide. The cop looks back at Miguel. "Hey, you! Kid!" Kid? Thought he was a grown man. At the cop's words, Miguel quickly throws his hands in the air. No, you're not under arrest. I gotta show you something. Look at the schnoz on that guy. Do you know these kids? He asks, showing Miguel a photograph of 3 children that reads, BFFs. My old high school friends! Dude, seriously, get that eye looked at. Well, the cop removes a fake nose from his face. Oh, thank goodness. That thing was disturbing. Nice to see you again. The cop reveals that he's not a cop at all, but in fact, my old friend from high school, Owen? Always thinking of the readers, an asterisk is included to remind us that Owen is one of the 3 kids from that photo. So, I was an actual cop, and a mad scientist dropped a healing serum on me. So now I am real strong and can't die. Miguel inquires as to the whereabouts of the 3rd kid in the photo, a girl named Sally. Here! As the words leave Owen's mouth, something zooms up beside him. Why, it's none other than fan favorite, Quick. As she hands Owen a package that she retrieved for him, Miguel asks, "Okay, I have so many questions." Well, Owen begins to wear the contents of the package. "I own a secret superhero team, and I offer you a place on my team." With those words, Owen is revealed to be none other than the leader of the League of Superheroes, Carnage, as he strikes a sick pose beside Quick. Miguel, without hesitation, declares, "I'm in!" And we are given a glimpse of his infamous League costume. The end. Oh my gosh, that eye. It's so infected. It's nice to finally see the League of Superheroes getting the attention they truly deserve. They're one of Worldwide Comics' oldest batch of characters, and yet we really don't know a whole lot about them. Luckily, this issue sets out to begin filling in the gaps and fleshing out the formation of the team. However, with the answers we're given, it leaves us with a few more questions. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't point out a few contradictions raised by the pages of this book. Let's begin with the most obvious. This issue shows us that Quick is one of the founding members of the League of Superheroes, together with Carnage. However, if we refer to the pages of the original novella, the League was comprised of Carnage, Human Spider, Miguel, and Max initially, and they didn't meet Quick until they were sent back in time and she saved them from the evil Amish SWAT team, also known as East. So how can Quick have been a founding member when she didn't meet them until they were already 4 members strong? In addition, there's no mention of her being an old high school friend with any of them. They simply did not know her. Or so it seemed. Technically, they didn't see her without the mask until the end of the book, so it's possible they simply didn't recognize each other without their superhero costumes on. Makes sense. But it still doesn't explain her being a founding member of the team when originally she was the latest addition. My best guess? Time travel shenanigans. If we think about the timeline as a whole, this issue takes place before the original novella. So with that in mind, it's very possible that during a future beef with Frank F. Frank, he snatches her out of the original timeline and drops her into Amish times, erasing the team's memory of her ever being a member. It would explain why she saved them from East in the first place, and it would explain why she considers Frank F. Frank her arch-nemesis. The other contradiction I found is this issue's explanation of Carnage's origin story. In Worldwide War, we're shown a completely different origin, in which Owen is severely damaged in a fire and requires the use of an experimental mask to stay alive. That mask becomes the main feature of his Carnage persona. And yet in this comic, he has a very normal appearance, and speaks of a mad scientist dumping healing potion on him, granting him immortality and super strength. The two are wildly different tales, although it's possible that following Owen's injury, he went searching for a more permanent cure and stumbled upon the mad scientist. Needless to say, we've got a lot of questions that need answers. Whether or not the inconsistencies flesh themselves out, I really enjoyed the choice to focus the first issue on one of the lesser-known members of the team, Miguel. Outside of his one-eyed costume, we really don't know a whole lot about him. Having been given a peek of the man behind the mask, we now know why the costume only has one eye. Because his other eye was pounded into an infected ball of goop. I mean, look at that thing. It's unsalvageable. The man in the alley implies that he's simply a henchman for whoever the man was that was following Miguel at the start of the book. I'm very curious to know who that man is and what his history with Miguel is. Perhaps Miguel got mixed up with some bad people. Maybe his origins aren't as innocent as we've been led to believe. My best guess, his abnormal strength led him into a life of crime, serving as muscle to a powerful mob boss. Only one day, he was asked to do something that went against his moral code, and he ran off, only to be hunted down by his shady employers, leading us to the encounter in the alleyway. Man, I've got good ideas. I think he needed a job with Worldwide. In any case, a good comic leaves you with questions. It leaves you speculating about future issues, character motivations, and potential plot twists. And The League of Superheroes issue number 1 is clearly a book that accomplishes this with ease. Alright. And there you have it, the debut issue of the League of Superheroes comic book series. I personally enjoyed spending time with these characters again. It felt like catching up with an old friend. And for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and give this issue 5 cups of coffee and some awkward small talk. I mean, how else do you catch up with an old acquaintance? Sub it, like it, share it. I'm out.